Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam, the host for the show today, and welcome to the talk show. Today, the theme of today is gonna be the Vietnam War, and we're gonna have three special guests, which is Mr. Pham Song On, the spy of the Vietnamese, Mr. Tom Hayden, the person who is fighting to stop the war, preventing the war from happening from the Vietnam War, and the famous general, the genius general himself, the man himself, General Von Zhao. So, Mr. Pham Song On. So, welcome to the show today. How do you feel?
I was like really happy to be on the show and to meet like all you guys and see all you guys.
We all are too. So, our first question for today for you, Mr. Pham Song On, is that what did you do during the Vietnam War? What did you do to become a spy and an American journalist at the same time? Because we heard that no one recognized that you are doing such a job like this. You go on the communist side and the American side, on both sides, finding information and support for the war. So what did you do to become that two-faced man?
Like in the year 1953, I joined like the communist party, and after like about 4 years working in the party, I was like chosen for a special mission, like that to travel to the United States and find some information about their people, culture, and like collect some data and facts as much as possible, like for as a communist spy while simultaneously being like reporter of the U.S. military.
So thank you for answering that. That was an interesting answer. So following up to that question, we have, was being a spy giving information to North Vietnam and like giving out strategies for the upcoming war worked out? And if so, what did you do? What did you actually do? How did you do it to help giving out these information to the North Vietnam?
So like since I got to like accredited as the reporter for the U.S. military, because I was ordered to go to the south of Vietnam and work there. So it was then that I got to share many information with information and tactics from others, influential people and journalists that are the same as me to the north, and eventually helping the Communist Party plan for the attack, like in 1968, the Tet Offensive, or the Battle at Bath in 1963.
Mm-hmm. That was very a very good answer. I hope all you guys out there would love to know about this, and good job of explaining that to all of us that are in the show today. So, and our final question for this interview for you is, did you think that the Vietnam War, after the Vietnam War, did you guys actually win, or did you guys lose a lot? Lost more than actually.
Actually, most of Vietnamese think that we actually win a lot, because like we actually sacrificed our life to win the war, and there's like a bias showing between two different countries. Like at that time, like the Vietnamese was like really hate Americans because they kill women and children, and also backward, the Americans also hate the Vietnamese. So both of them is like they both win.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for all the answers that you've given for us today. I hope all of you guys out there are learning from this man. All of you guys out there that would love to know more, then you could follow our show and then watch it daily because we will broadcast online daily. So thank you, Mr. Council Wong, for being our guest of today's show. But we're gonna move on to the next guest. Goodbye. So that was it for Mr. Council Wong. Now we're moving on to our next guest, which is Mr. Tom Hayden.
Hi, guys.
Hello, sir. Welcome you to the show. How do you feel?
I feel really happy to on the show. It's like this. I could share some of my information to you guys and some interest people might interest in my story and stuff.
Thank you, and I'm certain that all our fans who are watching this show are appreciate to you too. So, thank you for being here, and we're gonna have some questions for you about the Vietnam War. And we wanted you to share your opinions about it. Okay, Mr. Tom Hayden, our first question is gonna be, what do you think of the Vietnam War? In your opinion, is it a good idea for the Americans who did that? Was it a bad idea? Was it a disaster? So, just describe it for us. What do you feel about it?
So, in my opinion, the war was like a mess. Because it's a major disaster. Many people died, sacrificed their life and stuff, and they would lose. I remember that lose, and then it's a disaster. One of the lowest, could be one of the worst American history. What America did do in their history.
Interesting question. An interesting answer. So our next question is going to be, explain what happened during the war when you were protest with so what's your story with other protesters? What are other protester names? What are their stories? What stories do you guys share? Do you guys experience with? Well, can you tell us that?
So since 1965, I also joined the war as a protester, and the demonstration were broken up by what was later called the U.S. Nation Commission on the cost of and prevention of the violence, a police riot. Then after 6 months, I also met 7 other protesters, and they were nice and stuff. And I know some of their names, for example, Randy Davis, Dave DeLinger, A.B. Hoffman, and Jerry Rubin.
Okay. Yeah. That was interesting. Well, thank you, sir, for answering these interesting questions. I think that's all the time. We're gonna move on to the commercials, and we'll be back with our final guest, General Volume Zach, the man, the myth, the legend, the people, or a lot of people call him the Red Napoleon. I'll cut that back to the show, and let's continue, shall we? On to the next important guest, the final guest for today's show, the legendary general, the man that fears a lot of people, one of the best generals fighting for the North Vietnam, and was named one of the best generals during the 20th century. A lot of people even call him the Red Napoleon. Welcome, General Vol Wingzak.
Thank you for having me on the show.
No, sir. We also appreciate you for coming here and answer for some of our audience the questions. Answer us questions that we would love to know about the war more, about history more. And well, I'm afraid we only have one question for you today, but it's gonna be an interesting and controversial in our opinion because we found this a long time ago. We've been collecting information and we've been seeing interesting facts that people explain about the war, about you and who you are. So history doesn't lie. In order for you to win over France and the United States military, and in line with U.S. military is like one of the best and the most powerful military out there back then and now, and even now, up until now. So a lot of people said, so in order to defeat them and the Japanese, France, China, you have to sacrifice over 2.5 to 3 million of your own men. So, just to get this victory, a lot of people are saying that you are the Vietnamese Hitler for being such, like throwing out troops, throwing out bodies, throwing out young men just to win and get what you want at the end, just like what Hitler is, just like what Hitler was. And just to get this victory, you need to do such a thing, to like sacrifice such a thing to get this victory. And I would love to ask you, how does that make you any different than other generals? How does that make you one of the best generals of the 20th century? Even though 2.5 to 3 million people, your own men, have died because of the war.
So history never lied. The Vietnam has stood up for their own country, like up against China, like for 1,000 years, Japan for like 1 year, and French for more than like 100 years. And now it's America, and there's millions of people died in the process to get to the Vietnamese War. And so, why do you think that killing millions of us will destroy our fighting spirit and our thirst of freedom, our will to live as an independent country? So and more importantly, it is like our people that were willing to die for free to free this country from being colonies, or not. And it's not without me. I cannot. They don't have the control. Who's gonna control their life and their fate? So it's what. So what's who are willing to live their homes and willing to die and leave their home, pick up weapons and get to the battlefield and fight for their freedom and their country, their family, their life, everything that belongs to them.
Yeah. That was an amazing answer by you, General Zach, and I hope that all of you out there learned something from today's show, especially our final question that Mr. General Following Zach just answered. And I think that's all the time we have here for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching our show, and we will be seeing you next time. Subscribe to our channel, subscribe to PewDiePie, We Can Defeat T-Series.